What's up, everybody? Just kind of wanted to give you guys an update because I haven't posted a video this past week. Things have just been a little hectic, just trying to rock and roll out here in the shop. There's our flag, so thank you to all our troops. I just wanted to say that. Here is the current project that I'm working on. I finished another 85 last week that needed a bunch of random things, blower motor issues, wiper issues, a whole slew of things. Got that done. Didn't really make a video on it because just wanted to kind of rock and roll and get that thing done. But this is the current project we're working on. It's an 81 Corvette, all original, in great shape. I did the valve cover gaskets because it had tons of oil leaks, as well as the power steering stuff. So I'll post a clip of the power steering work right there. So we've got all brand new power steering stuff on this car, so we're all ready to roll. I just got done bleeding the system before I started on the weather strip stuff. Another thing I ended up doing was repairing the vacuum actuators to get these pop-up up and down headlights. Get those babies rocking and rolling again, just like they were back in 81. Got new actuators in the front here. Ran all new relays, all the new lines to the source, all the way up to the junction, up to the engine, and also ran new vacuum lines into the vacuum switch and the override switch underneath the dashboard. So I did test those out, and those babies are probably the fastest pop-up up and down headlights on a C3 that you're gonna find in the whole state. I would have to say, the freshest you're gonna find. So the main thing, we've got the interior tore apart. This interior is actually in really good shape. The seats don't have any tears. It's a little dirty, but they're in great shape. This car has only got 54,000 miles on it. So, gauges work. At least I think so. I don't know why that needle's all the way on the it's buried over there. Yeah, didn't really notice anything, but I thought they were working just fine. I think they actually should click over, maybe if I turn it on. Nope. Okay, so we got an issue with the tach, but we'll worry about that later. So right now, first thing, these doors were a mess. I ended up taking all these tracks out. I don't know if you can actually see it, but I cleaned everything out, man. That original grease was just like asphalt. I mean, it was really gummed up. So if you have really slow power windows in these cars, even if you put a new regulator in them, you definitely want to take all the tracks out and clean them up. I ended up using the parts washer for that one to really knock a huge chunk of stuff out on that. This side was in good shape. Got all our drill holes for our armrest, so they're all good, so I'm not going to touch them. Usually I'll weld them up and I can re-tap them. It is missing some screws in the motor cover right here. The previous guy that was in here used 10 millimeter large head screws, just 2 of them. We're not going to touch it. That's not in the budget. But main thing is we wanted to get that window glass nice and tight. This is still loose, so I got to basically I have to finish the T-tops seals. Then I can move on to my A-pillar seals. I've already done the B-pillar seals. These get riveted from the back, so 3 spots. So got that all nice and neat. So just finishing up on the T-top seals. I've got the one T-top over here, the driver's side T-top. It actually was delaminated, so I'm re-adhering that. These are the mirror tint T-tops, and they're actually pretty damn expensive. If you ever... It's hard really to see. The camera really doesn't do it any justice. It actually makes it look pretty rough, but they're in pretty good shape. They're really expensive, so it's got the expensive tops. I think I've seen them go for like $1,200 for a nice set. But yeah, original tops. So I've got all the seals off of them, or at least the driver's side one. I've got to install that one. I did do the passenger side, so that one's all nice and glued in place. I had to I still got to do some readjustment because the rear of this T-top here is sticking out just a little bit further than I like. There's a bushing in here that's a little wallowed out, as well as this plate is adjustable as well, so I'll be able to dial that in. Basically, this back half just needs to scoot in. It looks like the front's pretty decent. That's also adjustable. Under here, you know, there's two clips. Had to take the shims out of that one because there was a large gap up there, so that thing was never sealing. So he's going to be real happy. We're going to get this thing back in shape. Yeah, the passenger door, this was a little bit worse. You know, we've had some really rusty tracks and a couple rollers that were seized up, but I was able to free them up and greased everything, so that should be good to go. You know, it's got a nice little color. I like this. It's almost like a sapphire. You know, they really didn't have some crazy, you know, pearls or anything like that, but this isn't the original color, if you could tell by the door. She's a silver fox underneath all that. That's the original paint color right there. I had the T-top trim all out of the car, and you know, the silver paint pretty much is basically overspray up there. You know, tracked the whole way up. That's when I really noticed it. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's in pretty good shape. You know, these cars are getting up there in age. This thing's still rocking and rolling. The guy's still enjoying it. I believe he just got it not too long ago. Number 4 body mounts are what you want to look out for on these cars. The driver's side isn't too terrible. That's pretty common what you see. The passenger side, I think, is a little worse. So we might have to tackle that one up next. There's another body mount in the front inside this pocket. That one looks pretty decent, as well as the number 2 body mounts in the pocket here, and the number 1s that hold up the bumper. They all look like in pretty decent shape. And I've got my trim sitting over here looking pretty. Look at that. Check me out, man. I'm painting over here. Just trim stuff. I don't do body work, but yeah, trim turned out really nice. Really happy with that. Got that all painted up. Actually, one of these seal trim tracks was pretty bent out of shape, and I bent it all back together so good that you can't even tell which one was the screwed up one. So really happy about that. This paint is still a little tacky. So this this trim basically just is for the A-pillar. So it's looking pretty good. I don't want to install it yet. I'm going to let it dry up overnight. It's still a little soft, and down there it will touch the body while installing it. So without taking a chance of it tearing, I'm going to let this stuff sit up overnight. But really happy how that turned out. And I've also got some brand new door panels to go on. Here's the original. You can see how old it is. It's a little faded. That's the original color. Sun fading down there. Reason I've got new door panels is because the door felts right there are coming apart, as well as the mounting holes are pretty bad. This one's so bad you can just stick your finger right in it. They don't look too terrible from this side. You know, the pockets are blown out, but we've got new switches. The back side of it, you know, you can see some chunks missing out of it. So we're going to tidy it up. You know, the interior is in really good shape. I think the new door panels are going to really bring it up to par. You know, I think overall I really like these cars. They're really cool. They're fun to play with. You know, if you're in the market for getting a project, you know, these make good little drivers. You know, not the fastest things out there, but, you know, they definitely have a lot of style. You definitely, nowadays, it seems every car looks the same. And of course, we still have the Z06 C5 Supercharged project. You know, we are going to be starting back up on this thing really shortly, as soon as we get these other seal replacement jobs out of the way. But, you know, the latest update, we've got our cradle mounts in that space the cradle down, as well as lowering the engine with lowering mounts, and we have got good clearance from the leaf spring and all that, so really happy about that. I've got the fuel rail cover because I'm maybe trimming those up to fit instead of using the Edelbrock, getting a set of those. We're going to still try to use the factory hood, so you know, you can check out that stuff if you haven't been up to date on it. And of course, for the 74, stay tuned for that. You know, as we know, we fabricated an 81 bumper to fit in a 1974 car. The next thing is, I don't have the bumper in there fully locked in because we're going to be dropping this gas tank, and I also want to clean up these bumper bracket slider brackets, and we'll get them looking nice. We're going to clean up the frame in the back here. We've got a fuel injection tank for this thing, which is really cool because I've got a Holley EFI conversion kit. It's the Holley Sniper, so that's what's going to be going on this thing. If you haven't been up to date on this project, it's all custom suspension. We've got a Crate 350 engine with a Tremec 5-speed conversion and all kinds of cool stuff up top. But yeah, it's going to be a really cool project, so stay tuned for that. Still working on that. We got some vintage air to do at a later date as well. And we've got another project that pretty much sadly got put on the back burner, waiting for the machine shop to finish up the engine for this Lingenfelter car. It's an LT1 car making 530 some horsepower. Basically just rebuilding it with some modern stuff. This engine's going to be pretty strong when we're done with it. My machine shop guy's awesome. You know, I really like his work. He's a little slow, but he does really good work. Apparently we should be getting this thing back here shortly, so I'm really pumped about that. I would love to get this thing back up and running. It's been sitting for quite a while, but this thing's a ripper. So that'll pretty much sum it up. I hope this brightens your work week. I know you guys out at the office, may like to play with this sort of stuff on the weekend, so maybe it's an inspiration to you guys. It's definitely all just nuts and bolts, so you can get to it. There are definitely a lot of cool things you can do to them. Going from 74s to the 81s. The later year C3s are the best as far as bang for the buck. It's all pretty much the same chassis. The later years had aluminum rear diffs and stuff like that, so they're a little bit cooler in that department, but then you got emissions equipment and all that. 74 was the last year to worry about emissions legally, so you might want to keep that in mind when you're looking for something like that. But hopefully this pretty much gives you some inspiration to tackle a project on your own. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and stay tuned. We'll be back at it, and I will show you some updates on some of the cars as we go along. And I'll be doing some more install videos here in the near future. So thanks again. I appreciate you guys all for watching. We just hit like 1,600 subscribers, and I'm blown away by that. So I just want to say thank you guys for sticking out there, subscribing and all that. It means a lot to me. We've got my son. I don't know if you guys have seen that gender reveal video, but he's 5 months old already. People told me that time would fly by, and that was an understatement. It really is. So luckily, I've got an awesome wife, and she stays at home and she watches him, and I'm glad that she's going to be there for him and raise him. So really, really happy that I can do that. And I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for watching the channel. The little bit of ad revenue that we get from the channels definitely helps out. For the Go Fast department on when we're playing with the Camaro and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say thank you guys all for subbing and watching. So stay tuned. We'll be back at it with some more cool stuff. And as always, I don't know if I really say anything always, but safety is #1 priority. Actually, #2 priority. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Pop up and down headlights.